Hello everyone. Welcome to Conversations3X. I'm Kamaljeet, your host, and this podcast is presented by IE Horizons. I hope you enjoyed our last podcast with Elizabeth Elliott, who is a twice brain cancer survivor. And it was about her journey and recovery through the difficult times of coming out of brain cancer. She managed it very well, still going strong. And let's hear her ongoing journey and future plans to serve the community. And I want to add, if you have listened to our videos and podcasts before and enjoyed them, there was something that motivated you, please like and subscribe to our channel. It'll help us reach a wider audience, reaching the right people at the right time for a reset in life. Anytime there's something you need to motivate yourself, it is IE Horizons Conversations 3X. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Hello, Lizzie. How are you?
Hi, Kamal. I'm doing well, thank you.
Welcome back, and thank you for coming back as well. To share rest of your journey and what you're doing now. And
Thank you.
how's your health now?
I'm I am well excuse me. I've been in remission since 2018. I did it the last time we spoke I was talking about nutrition. I do have a couple issues with movement and I do physiotherapy for that. So I go twice a week to do physiotherapy for that, but my health is good. I'm healthy and well. I just want to keep going that way, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, in physiotherapy, like what all do they do?
I go because I had issues with I still do with my balance. The second time around, it affected my balance.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had to learn how to, so like they call, you know how you can tell what's around you in space, right? They call that proprioception.
Mhm.
And my proprioception on my affected side, my left side, was I used to bump into things and stuff like that. So when I would walk, I'd probably walk into the wall on that side because I couldn't judge the opening, or I still have issues with like where my feet are if I'm going through a small space. So I tend to want to have bigger spaces around me. But I don't like when people are right next to me on one side. If I, even at physio, if they're like right there next to me and they're trying to stay there because they're afraid I'm gonna fall, that bugs me because I can see them, like I can see my hand right here and I'm not looking that way. So I'm like hyper aware of my surroundings because of that. So that's kind of um, one of the things that is still affected, I guess I could call it that. Hmm.
Yeah. But
When I
still,
go there, I'm so sorry.
yeah, you were saying something. So,
I was just gonna say, because like it sounds like something really simple and something that people take for granted, but what I'm working on at the moment is if I fall over or for some reason I need to get down on the floor, that's like a big deal for me. And then getting back up from the floor is a big deal as well. So I work on how to get down on the floor and how to get back up off the floor. And that sounds like something that people would take for granted, but um, yeah, that's the one thing I've been doing recently. Stuff like that.
I think that is also important for people who are, as they are aging. That
Yes.
problem is also there.
Hmm.
Like seniors, falls are very important topics for discussion and to do regular work, fitness work on yourself. Some people say that do mild yoga every day for seniors, do that. And there are some bending exercises and squatting exercises which the yoga people, they say that it's very important to continue. It's not, I find it very difficult. But mild, what was her name? That lady who was doing it with energy, Donna, Donna Eden.
Yes, Donna Eden. Yeah.
Donna Eden's exercises are something that I can do.
Yeah.
They're very
I I'm so sorry. I want to do so. I love yoga. I mean yoga as in I don't know what the type of yoga is because there's different ones, right? But it's when I was in high school, we had our phys ed teacher did yoga with us. We didn't do a lot of like we were on the ground a lot of the time doing. I think he trained in India. I think he did, but we I was always very flexible because of that. And like I'm really grateful for that. Um, we were always on the ground and we were always doing these stretches and poses and things like that. So I think that carried on into adulthood as well for me. And I was really lucky, I think, that we did that in high school. Um, Now I'm trying to get back to that. So I'm getting back down on the ground. I want to get my flexibility back, and control over my left side, really.
So is there any particular exercise? Is there any name that you want to recommend? What kind of therapies that you are doing?
I don't, I'm not sure that my therapy actually has a specific name. I'm just basically working with the physiotherapist to get, I forgot everything when I had brain cancer. It took everything. I forgot how to move. I forgot where my body was in space. I had to start as like a child would, like not so much learning to walk because I think you have like muscle memory. That came quicker than I expected. Um, I had to just learn how to move. The first thing I remember going through different types of physiotherapy. And there was like when I was in the hospital, they needed to get me out of the bed and walking again. And that came quicker than I thought. I do have some issues with my left leg where my knee when I'm very fatigued and fatigue as in not tiredness. It's a term that they use when you've had brain injury. Because you just like my eyes would close when I've had enough. I'll be sat there, I can't do any more. My eyes will close and I'll literally fall asleep. I've been known to fall asleep in a cinema, a really loud movie on, and I'm like eyes closed because I can't. It's just like fatigue kicks in, and I'm going, yeah, it's strange, very strange.
And yet, with all this, you're still continuing to study, and last time you mentioned that you're taking this degree program, advanced
Yes,
program. You're a naturopath already, and you're already advising people. Uh, you know,
I'm I'm qualified as a health coach, and I was trying to get a definition for you for that. So basically, when I did my advanced certificate to become a health coach, I was able to do like diet plans for people, but within certain parameters, I'm more restricted than say a naturopath would be. So I wouldn't be able to diagnose necessarily, but I can see maybe how their diet is affecting them, and I can help them correct it. When I become a naturopath, I'll be in essence a naturopathic doctor, but that will be like treating the whole person, not just one aspect, like allopathic doctors do. So you go to the doctor when you're not well, and they will look at your symptoms and they'll treat maybe a certain thing. So you find that a lot of people that go to the doctor might be on, if they see several doctors, they'll be on lots and lots of different medications and stuff. I would look at, as a naturopath, or a naturopath would look at the whole person. So they'll be looking at even like their beliefs, and it's like basically not just, you're not looking at just their physical body, but you're looking at everything about them, their energetic body, their like spiritual beliefs and stuff like that. So that's what I like about it. I like that.
Yeah, very interesting. Long back, many years ago in Delhi, I contacted a homeopath for some of my recurrent chronic problems.
Yeah.
And he asked me some very strange questions. For example, he asked me my date of birth. He wanted to know under the zodiac I was born. He looked into the salts that I was missing. And he did ask about my my spiritual beliefs again, like what did I like and what helped me to calm down, in particular. And so many strange questions which even a regular homeopath may not ask you, but this gentleman did. And it was very interesting now that you say that naturopathy covers all that.
It's a more holistic approach. And when I say holistic, I mean like the whole person. So we have these principles that we have to learn. And one of them is totem, which is treat the whole person. There's like causum as well, which is like treat the cause of the disease. There's like lots of different ones that we have to learn to and consider. So like in some of my subjects that I'm doing, they look at like which principles would you use in this scenario, or here's a case study, how would you approach this, and what naturopathic principles would you, or what therapeutic order would you I want to say employ. So yeah, it's so different from what an allopathic doctor would do, like a general practitioner.
Yeah, very interesting. He gave me a few salts. In particular, I remember he mentioned sulfur and magnesium. And he said, this will always help you, and I have noticed that in my life that these two salts did make a difference, eventually. And I take them off and on, not very regularly, but I do take them.
Yeah. I think I just find it interesting, like so interesting how we work and how our environment affects us as well, like how you grow up and all of that. We're not just one dimensional, two-dimensional. We're more than that. We're so much more. We interact with our environment, and we take on things that, like other people. I don't know. I think it's more inclusive, more. I don't know what the word is. We're affected by so much more than we think we are. That's what I love about naturopathy.
Yeah. So tell me
Right.
one thing, you're still going through a lot when it comes to your health. It's like a normal person. This is my understanding or my perception. I should not be judgmental, but I see,
No.
like around myself that when we fall sick with even a simple fever, it puts us down, and it can put, if you're working very hard, struggling with some particular kind of job, or maybe an education, whatever, it'll put you down, and you feel that, okay, I don't want to have anything to do with it. I'm done. My health doesn't allow me, so I have an excuse to sit back. But I see you, over the period of years, that you're constantly driven and motivated to do something. And what is it? What is that thing that really drives you to pursue your education further, to support people? What is it?
So to be honest, it's it's not easy. I do have challenges, like my memory that's been affected. And what drives me to do it is that I would not wish what happened to me on anyone. Like that drives me. That is the thing that I feel like it's my mission to educate people so that they don't have to go through some of the things that I went through. And it was, I don't know if you remember, it was painful. It was, I mean, emotionally, mentally painful. Um, I don't know if you remember Dr. Joe Dispenza saying at one
Yes.
point, you can either learn in a good way. I'm not quoting him because I can't remember what words he used. He said, or you can learn the painful way where you get sick and then you learn. So well, regrettably, I learned the second way, the latter. So, that's something that I would not wish on anyone. And that's what drives me. That's what motivates me and makes me get up in the morning. And some days I don't want to do it, but that's what motivates me. I do not want anyone else to feel or suffer what I went through.
Yeah. Yeah, that's being very, I don't know what to say, very compassionate and empathetic. And it helps. My understanding is that as we help others, we are helping ourselves grow as well. It
Yeah,
is kind of directly proportional, like everybody's health and happiness around you brings that joy in your own life as well.
that's the other thing. Because like when you help somebody, you feel good, right? You feel like, oh wow, like I've managed to get something positive out of something that was not, like my experience was not positive. But I've taken from that something that I can use to help others to not to help others, I guess, to stay healthy and to learn that they have so much, like so much. It's a gift. Your health is a gift. And I think how I see it is um, I remember being asked a question about it may have been one of the courses I did, and they said what would be one of the first things that you would want in your life. And it wasn't riches, it wasn't money, it wasn't, like things. It was good health. It was having good health. So that's why I do it. I think that's my motivation, my reason for becoming a naturopath.
Yeah, you also mentioned mission before. What makes you feel that you feel that it is your mission to do this service, by first training yourself and then serving others? It is a very big
So
thing.
it is, isn't it? For me, it's like I feel like that's why I incarnated. I
Yeah.
feel like I had to go through certain things to realize what I should have done. And I maybe it was a correction. So I kind of look at it, okay, I just said that it was a painful way to learn, but I still see it as I'm grateful for the experience, which is a strange thing to say. It just means that I appreciate a lot more in this life. I appreciate everything I have and everything I've learned. I think maybe it was meant to happen this way. I didn't actually go about it. Maybe in like some people just know who they are and who they're supposed to be, but I didn't. And maybe that was the reason why everything happened. So for me, yes, it is a little bit like a spiritual correction. I'm going to use that word. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, just that's how I see it now.
Yeah, you used another word, a very interesting word, incarnated. So you are, somewhere you are very deeply spiritual, and you connect your spirituality with this program. It is naturopathy, so it is, I believe it is a spiritual program in a way. So, what are your thoughts?
I look at spirituality in a different way because I mean, I think I told you before that my family is Catholic.
Yeah.
I'm talking like my whole, my extended family, everybody's Catholic. And that's everything I knew up until I left home. Um, when I left home, that's when I started to learn a lot more about the world. Um, and I'm grateful for that as well because my views are so far from that, like from where I started and what my family still believes. It's it's I don't know. It's hard to explain to somebody who hasn't. I say this to people. It's hard to explain to somebody who hasn't been through everything that I've been through. They There's a lot of judgment that happens, and I think I that's why I said I need to be considerate of other people because they haven't experienced what I have and they haven't been exposed to the things I've been exposed to. So that's where the compassion comes in, I guess.
True. And is there any daily spiritual ritual or practice that you follow for yourself? Is there anything that any discipline that you follow, for yourself, whether you decided to do it by yourself or any other programs that you follow?
Um, I I would have to be honest and say that I used to meditate a lot. Um, and I had like some good results with that, but I haven't been consistent with it lately. I need to get back into it really, or I should get back into it.
Yeah, what particular kind of med? I remember you have a lot of when we were doing the power of eight intentions. Remember?
Yeah,
Yeah, you had beautiful intuition and you had beautiful things to say and describe.
yeah,
It was really amazing, and you could see you had a
yeah.
highly developed sixth sense, I would say.
I have always been intuitive, but I wouldn't say psychic. I was always like I could look at a person and see what they're about. Um, I feel like that kind of when we were doing the Power of Eight, I actually that came back to me a lot. because that meditation that we would have to do, and the connection that we had, that was amazing. I feel like that actually magnified my intuition. And I even went and did at one point past life regression to see what that was, and but that didn't really bring up as much as I thought it would. But what I saw was incredible. I always felt like what's the word I'm going to use here? I always felt like I was on the outside looking in. I don't know, maybe a lot of people feel that way. I don't know, but I always felt that way. And I realized that when I did that past life regression, it was so interesting. I was in a place, and I would never have been able to conceive this. Like it took me, I feel like I hadn't been here before. I hadn't been to Earth before. This is my like first incarnation.
Wow.
That was what came out of it. That, and I think just some like how I felt about stuff. But when I had the past life regression, I ended up seeing, gosh, I can explain it, but I don't know if it'll make sense. It was kind of like a dream. I was in space, but in space there was this building that had a checkerboard floor, and it was all like gold pillars, and there was an animal, and I think I'm going to say a bull, but there's golden as well. And everything was gold and cream. So the floor was like a checkerboard floor, and that was gold and cream tiles, like checkerboard pattern, with these big, massive. I mean, I can still remember this now, so it made an impression on me. These pillars, these golden pillars, but there wasn't anything. I didn't go into like another life, so that's what kind of confirmed that I hadn't been here before as well. What I did see was I had to walk down some steps to get to this other level, but it was only like a few steps, 3 or 4. Sorry, I'm itchy. And when I went down there, I met a little girl. I met a little girl who had dark hair like me and looked similar to what I looked like in this life. Now, I had an ectopic pregnancy, and I don't know if that was my daughter. I took it as her being my daughter. And when I tried to speak to her, she wouldn't speak to me. So I don't know why I saw her. But that was like a major thing for me. Like that was amazing. That was something incredible to see. But when I looked at from those pillars, like say the floor is here, and you have these pillars going up in different places, it was in space. So I would look at, and all I see is black and stars and stuff. I didn't see anything else. There was no, I didn't go back to a different time. I didn't go back to anywhere else. I was just in that place, which I found interesting.
Yeah. So did the the past life therapist, decode it for you? Like sometimes they are able to give some, when you see this, these are all symbolic visions that you have during a regression. So
I didn't, no, she was trying to encourage me to ask the child I saw, the little girl I saw. She was encouraging me to speak to her, which I was. but she just wouldn't speak back to me. So I didn't have, it wasn't like a big, massive revelation, or I was, like Queen Mary in another life, or it wasn't anything like that. It was just a case of I saw this little girl who looked very much like me when I was that age. So it was about 3 or 4. She looked like almost exactly like me, apart from I think she was just slightly different. Her hair was the same. So I don't know. I have no idea. I'm guessing that was probably my child. That's how I saw it anyway, that she was my child.
How did you feel after that, coming out of the regression?
I think I was surprised that I actually saw something like that. I think that was probably more my reaction. I don't know. I didn't know what to make of it, to be honest. I just took it at face value, I think, really.
And then did you take any other programs related to your spiritual growth, or any healing programs? Did you take up any to delve a little bit further into this?
No, I haven't actually. I just I came away from that and I just felt like, okay, I saw what I should have seen, what was supposed to be shown to me at that time. But I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't actually go further with it, which is kind of strange because me, I need to know everything.
Yeah.
I'm not really like digging into stuff.
And how did you join Mind Valley programs? Any of my?
I did, yeah. But I think I did the ones like where I met you. The only one I keep going back to these days is Jim Kwik, because he
Okay.
does the like the memory one.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
always I don't sorry, I'm always looking at ways to improve. So I don't sit back and go, well, I'm like this now. I'm going to leave it now. I'm always looking to get better.
Yeah. So did
So
Jim Kwik's program help you? Because for me, it was a little complicated. I didn't go through it. I think I attended one of his master classes, and that was it.
I bought it. I bought his program. Um, I was interested in he actually had brain damage as a kid, didn't he? And he taught himself a lot of he taught himself well. I think a man helped him out to start off. But he learned to read properly, and I think he wasn't doing very well in school. You know that story, right? His story. Do you
Uh,
know?
I don't remember. I attended one of his master classes, and that's pretty much that was it.
Something happened to him. He had some kind of accident where he fell
Okay.
or something, and he ended up at school. He wasn't doing very well, and he could hardly read, and like stuff like that. And then he went to a friend's house, and the friend's dad actually saw what was going on and actually taught him some stuff, or encouraged him to read any book he wanted from their library, and they had a big library. So he would go through each book and he would read a book at a time. And that's why he encourages you to, like, he teaches speed reading, and he teaches like how to memorize stuff. And if you have a list of things, for example, find place like place you can put it in any place in your mind that you want to. But what I think an example would be like putting it maybe in different parts of your house. So if you have a list of 20 things to remember, if you put one, say, in that chair, or the computer, another one, and that will help you remember the list and sequence. So I found that really interesting because I don't have, my short-term memory is affected. So I may not, we might have a conversation, but I might miss some bits of it. And you would say, but you've told me that already, and I can't remember telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stuff like that. So I found that program very useful.
Yeah, yeah. And that's interesting. And what about, I remember there were other people who were talking about Paul McKenna or somebody. Yeah,
Yeah, I
very
like him.
interesting. Yeah, did you do anything?
I have a book. I have a book of his, but I have a book. This book is like so old. I found him when I was living in the UK. I mean, I've been looking at learning stuff for, like all my life, really. And he was just one person that I came across in the UK. I remember when we would turn on the telly and he had this like TV program where he would hypnotize people. So I remember watching him back then. And then he came out with a book and I bought one. But he gets you to visualize as well. So I've gone back to him recently because he's been on Mind Valley as well. Have you seen him on Mind Valley?
No, no, I haven't.
Yeah,
I've,
he's now on Mind Valley. But I found he was actually he wrote different books. The one I have, it comes with like a CD, but he teaches you how to like, I don't know, you can be whoever you want to be. And it was I don't know, he gives you different exercises. So you're just like anybody would hypnotize you, you'd maybe go down steps to get into the meditation. And once you're there, you can kind of program yourself for anything you want, really. Um, but I liked he didn't take things pardon me, he didn't take things too seriously, which is what drew me to him. I've been watching some of his videos lately, and he's gone a bit more mainstream now, and he's like treating people with PTSD and
oh,
I don't
really?
know.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So he's hypnotizing them, and you see him, and Mind Valley actually put some like things out where he's changing people's ideas, like people that were very stressed or anxious and stuff like that. Um, uh, Not training them, but he hypnotizes them and changes their perception, their point of view, I guess you would call it. Um, so I still like him. I like his approach. He's very like very easy to watch, and um, it makes me want to change things for myself, the things that I don't like.
Yeah, that's, I saw some of his old videos quite a few years ago, and they were inspiring and they did help. So you continued, working on yourself. The bottom line is that
Always.
if you learn from everyone, whatever you could, whatever that came forth or whatever you could find
Yeah.
for yourself, and you never gave up. And I think it is inspired and brought that resilience in you that, I can change and I can get better and help others with it.
So I feel like, because I had brain cancer twice, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like the first time I wasn't paying attention. So the way I look at it, okay, yeah, okay, it's a spiritual experience, but I can say that now. Um, I think the second time around really knocked my socks off, like really, that really messed with my head. That really, changed my point of view, made me look deeper into things. The first time around, I just listened to the doctors. I didn't really go any further than that. The nutritionist that I saw, the dietitian that I saw, I was not listening to her either. Like I was disagreeing with some of the things I used to have like right out arguments with her. I think she must have hated when I went to see her. Um, she, she wanted to put me on like a supplement that was like a drink. You know, like you can get these drinks that have all the vitamins in it and everything, but they taste disgusting. They are awful. And she wanted to put me on Sustagen, I think it was. I mean, the second time around, I was so discriminating in what I would even look at or touch. So and I lost so much weight. I was probably underweight at that time because I was looking at everything and anything that had sugar in it, anything, even if it had like a hint of sugar, I wouldn't touch it. Because I was going, this is not coming back. I am going to get better from this, and I refuse to put sugar in my body, but you can't escape sugar because it's in so many different forms. So the juicing I was doing, which had like beetroot and carrots, I'm looking at two of the vegetables that were in that. They have sugar in them. So we have sugar in everything. Your body actually converts all the food we eat to glucose, and that's the main source of nutrition for the body. And I didn't know that. So this is how little I knew about nutrition at that point. So you could eat like bread, even if it was like a sourdough or something that you look at, brown bread, wholemeal bread. You'd look at that and you'll go, okay, that has less sugar in it. Yes, it does. And the only reason why is because it takes longer for it to go through. You need more energy to actually digest it. But I didn't know a lot of this stuff in the beginning. And she wanted to put me, because I was so underweight, she wanted to put me on this meal replacement stuff called Sustagen. And I looked at I bought it, but it sat in my cupboard in my pantry. It just sat there. I looked at it and I was going, look at how much sugar this has. And when I did, and I wouldn't touch it, I think I tried it once and it tasted awful. And that was it. I did not touch it again. When I did my advanced certificate, I actually spoke to my lecturer and I said to her, because we had to do like a big project, like at the end. And I just really got into nutrition, and I got into doing meal plans and stuff like that. So I was saying to her, I don't understand why I would have been put onto this stuff, because it's nasty stuff. I said to her, like, it has so much sugar in it. And she goes, and this was very humbling. She said, not everybody has the energy to cook and to do things the way, like she more or less like brought me down a peg and said, not everybody can do cook and have the energy, because they might be too sick to do it, and they might not have somebody that can do it for them. And I thought, yeah, that's true. And that's why they have these meal replacement things. And I was thinking, I need to come up with that was the thing. So I had to come up with a different drink or something that would be better than that Sustagen. And I actually did. I used raw cacao. I used things that were only food. I used hemp seeds, raw cacao powder, to make like a shake that was better tasting, and it had all the nutrients in there. I'm talking like minerals and protein and fats and carbohydrates, but I used almond milk instead of cow's milk, and I used dates, I think, because they had a lot of fiber in them. So I used them to sweeten it. And I'm trying to think now. I did a whole thing anyway, and then I actually put all the calories next to it and all the vitamins and minerals and stuff that you get from the different foods that went into it. And I covered every single like vitamin, mineral, and yeah, I had it in portions and grams and stuff like that. So I actually came up with a better tasting alternative to that sustagen. I felt that passionate about it. I was like,
So, did you save that recipe for yourself? Like,
yes, I did it a lot for it had banana in it as well. I did it for me and my son. Um, yeah, I think I even got my husband to try it, and it tasted really good, and it was a nice thick shake, but it wasn't, yeah, it wasn't anything like that horrible stuff.
you
I
might
still
want
have
to
it.
put it up on your Facebook, that page that you have, and it
Yeah,
might help.
maybe.
Yeah.
I've kind of wound that down a little bit, but yeah, I think I should.
Yeah, you
I
should
need to
improvise
dig
it.
it out.
Is something that you can do to improvise it if you have a thought, and then maybe even share. I can also add it somewhere. That.
Yeah, I need to dig it out. It's in my folders. So I'll have to, it's back
Yeah,
there.
later. Yes, that'll be nice. So
Dig
now,
it
what
out.
are you planning to do further? And another thing, did you do any healing programs? I thought you did some other healing programs as well. Did
Uh,
Reiki or something like that?
no, I want to learn that. That's something
Okay.
that's on my bucket list. I would love to learn how to be a Reiki practitioner. That's something I really am interested in. I've been to two Reiki practitioners, and like that interests me because it's about clearing your energetic gunk, like all the stuff we pick up along the way. And I tend to do that. I tend to be if the I can't say this on this podcast, but I tend to take things on from people. So I tend to be drawn to people who have an issue. I don't know how I know, I just know. And I will get drawn to them and I want to take on what's wrong with them. So it's like being an empath, but it's also dangerous for myself. So I almost have to these days I just put up like an energetic barrier to protect myself because
Yeah.
otherwise that's what makes me sick as well.
Yeah,
So
that's very important. I've been following this thing for myself too, that
yeah,
you need to seal yourself multiple times as we are advancing the times now. More and more, there is more and more negativity. There can be entities and negative thoughts. Everything impacts you, and
yes,
it hits your aura, and yeah, it depends on your inner soul strength also. How you can reflect it back.
yeah. So I don't know if it was the Christie um programs that I did. It might have been in Love or Above, but she she tells you, right, to actually she tells you how to protect yourself. You, was it her that said about the protection rose? Somebody did.
Yes, yeah, I remember. I don't use that. I use
Have
other methods, but I think there was another lady. I'm forgetting her name. Somebody has somebody in our group also shared that.
Yeah, I use that one. I use that as well but I have to be careful with that one because if my aura is big, then I'm actually keeping people at bay. So I have to be careful with that one because so I have used it in the car as well, like put it behind the car so that people don't come too close to the car.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, I would use it in the car. I'd use it if I walk into a room and I can feel that it's not quite right, I might use it then as well, just to protect myself because I tend to take on things from people. So yeah, I'm more aware of people around me and the energies that they're actually giving out. These days, because I always have people coming and going into my house. I have to be very much like I have to protect my energy field.
And Donna Eden also has given that, if you see in her, that official video, she has listed how, she's one of her exercises is how to seal yourself up.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I have to watch that.
You must watch that. It's a good one. I've used it pretty often, but I use my own techniques that I've learned. It's a combination of pranic healing and other techniques that I used and learned.
You'll have to share those with me afterwards.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. It is simple. It's simply with divine light. You seal yourself. Even, you seal yourself with just simply visualizing divine light around yourself, or
Yeah.
any kind of protection seal that you want to have around yourself. And I use the divine light. I don't use colors. I'm skeptical of using colors, like even in pranic healing and Reiki and all certain treatment methods, they use different colors for different. But I remember one of my instructors and a pranic healing master, he said that, it's best to use divine light and don't get
Yeah.
much into colors because sometimes you can get all mixed thoughts. So just stick to the divine light.
That's good to know as well. Yeah, I have used I'm always, whenever I think of doing something, I'm always connecting to the light. I'm always doing that one because so I still do that. And I still ask the questions about, I delete and uncreate stuff and
Yeah, that's that unlimited abundance. Christie Marie Sheldon's affirmations. Yes.
I still do that. And I still bring light in and um, and I send love out to people as well. I still do those ones. I think I do it a lot. I use that one every day. If I see somebody that feels sad in the supermarket, I will probably be doing that for them. Um, you just get feelings off people, so I tend to use it a lot. And I cancel and delete stuff um, and create stuff and yeah.
Yeah. So now, what are you planning to achieve with all what you are doing right now? You're studying and you're also probably advising people, anybody who reaches out to you. And what is your ultimate destination? Of course, there's no end to it. You keep growing, you reach one step, then you go beyond that. It's always
Yeah.
there, but where do you see yourself?
I had okay. I I'm in my office. This is gonna be my office. Um, it was walled off for me, and we did that like about a year ago or something. So this is gonna be where I'm gonna practice. I see myself working from home. We have I've looked at what we're going to do then. I've had another, like when I've been meditating, I came up with, something came up, where, and I can still see it when I think of it, where I have clients, I can see them lined up to come in here. So that's I just want to help people. I want to help them from, I guess, protect them from themselves, if that makes sense. Like, um, teach them about nutrition and you know, just treat. I see myself just I want. I'm getting all worked up because I want to write. I want to finish writing my book. I want to. I want to do my practice. I want to do Reiki. I have so many things I want to do. Come on, I just.
Yeah, naturopathy is interesting and holistic healing as well because everything
Yeah,
is going to, I see modern science and modern healing, like the scientific, the medical, stuff is going towards alternative healing because I know of some hospitals using alternative healing as their treatment methods. I also remember meeting one lady who had visited a spiritual, group, and what she was doing is she was visiting doctors with a list of natural supplements actually used for treatment. And
yeah,
this is instead of prescribing these medical chemicals, to
yeah,
people which have these side effects, why don't you prescribe these natural products and make the treatment more holistic and body can actually sustain it?
yeah. I grow a lot of herbs now. So my garden, I want everything in my garden to have purpose. So I want, we did out the back of our garden, and I have like vegetables, and in fact at the front I have lemons growing, and pomegranate.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I actually have some pomegranate on the actual tree,
Yeah.
and I went out there yesterday to water it. But it's yeah, lemon is like so good, and pomegranate is so high in vitamin C as well. I used pomegranate juice when I was doing my thing, you know, like the second time. I was drinking that, and it's an acquired taste, I think, because it's very uh kind of bitter. It's nice, but it's kind of bitter, and I guess maybe I tend to go for that kind of tart taste. But yeah, so I'm growing those, and I can put the seeds on a salad or something, so I can have that way. And the lemons are like magic, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. There is this floral treatment also. There are some floral extracts that I use for treatment. There is a complete remedy program. I think they have, I am not remembering the name. Uh, oh, what is it?
Oh,
Yeah,
back
yes.
flowers. Yeah, I had to do that as well in my degree. I did that last year. We had to look at all the back flower remedies, and the properties that they you know, that they give. Um, I did try to do that with, I had oh, what was I growing? I had some flowers growing on, I don't know, one of my vegetables outside, and I took the flowers off them because they were very pretty,
Mhm.
but they were I don't know if it was what was the name of it? Not spinach, rocket. Um, there's another name for it, arugula.
Okay.
they have like some really pretty flowers, and I took the flowers off the plant, and I actually did that with it. I soaked it in like purified water and left it out in the sun, and then brought it in, and I could have used it for something. I've made up like creams and things like that as well, because that's part of naturopathy.
Okay.
I've done I've used chili powder um to make up a remedy for, like, like when you have pain.
Yeah.
So I've used that one. I've done up like a cream. I think I gave it away to somebody that had something going on. And I had it in a nice little container. I've done my own hand sanitizer when we were going through COVID, and I did it with aloe vera, and because I have aloe vera as well, and isopropyl alcohol. And you can use like I want to do my own I want to get a still, like a and distill my own oils. I'm really, really interested in that. Um, so you could have like lemon oil, or, but like essential oil that's
Yeah.
organic and you know where it's come from. I'm really interested in that one. That's something I want to get into.
Flower remedies have a lot of good treatment for mental health as well,
Yes,
for stress, anxiety, and probably some addictions too. But
I guess, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, the when I did that subject with it was basically can't remember if it was flower. I can remember the code for it, but I can't remember the name of it. But it was all about these just like Bach floral remedies and stuff, and all of the conditions that it could treat. And I mean, if you are open to that stuff, I mean, it's amazing the
it's a
amount of things.
different world altogether. I feel there is so much more to it now that as we are advancing into now, this is the time of AI and quantum. I don't know what's coming next, but science
I
that way
know.
has been left behind. It is a culmination of the science that was existed. I think always existed. This information was there with our old ancestors, and they
Yeah,
used it, and it's coming back. It's being revived and maybe modernized in a way, but definitely it has been there, and it's going to grow from there.
I agree. I think that people are actually going back to like the old ways. In a way, they're like unearthing all the things that came before, and they're actually realizing that they have merit. I think, yeah, I think that I agree. I think it's gonna go that way.
I
People
remember,
are,
I want to share one experience when I was in my high school. One of my father's close friends died of rabies. His dog,
wow,
his pet dog bit him. It was an Alsatian dog. And what happened to the dog was that he was bit by a wasp, a yellow wasp in the garden. And he came back inside and he bit my father's friend and a student, because like he had a student with him. They used to teach PhD people, students, and all that. So the guy was there, and he bit both of them.
oh
And
my,
my father's friend got, I think, 18 injections or something like that done for anti-rabies injections that were done. This I'm talking of maybe in early 70s.
wow,
Early
Uh,
70s, that is the time, whatever was the treatment for rabies, he took that, and he was hospitalized, and he died eventually in about 7, 8 days. He died. And the boy who was with him, what he did was he took turmeric, powdered turmeric from the house, which is always available in Indian households. Red chili is always available, and mustard oil is always available. He heated up the mustard oil from the kitchen. He added red chilies and turmeric powder to it, and he applied that paste. Nothing happened to him. He told
Uh,
my father's friend to apply that. He was a scientist. He was the director
yeah,
of an horticulture institute, and he said, "Oh no, this is all junk. I will get proper treatment."
you've given me chills because I can see that. I mean, turmeric is just so amazing. I if I was to recommend any, it's anti-inflammatory, it's anti most things, anti-inflammatory, I don't know, maybe antihistamine as well, I'm not sure.
It
It's
has
just
got many properties. It has got many unbelievable
anti-cancer even.
anti-cancer. Yeah.
Which is why I used to juice it. It's antibacterial, I'm trying to think of all the antis, but
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
yeah, it's
for every
amazing.
healing, turmeric is a part of it.
I grow it now. I
Oh,
actually grow it in the garden. Yeah, it's that good. I bought some because when I was juicing, I would put it in my juice, and I bought some like proper roots, and I only had a little bit because I found it hard to find, and I put one little root like that in the ground, and it actually yielded. I left it for years, but it yielded a lot, and I managed to share it with like my friends and um, I think the guy that comes to help me with the garden, he had some as well, and he's into all the natural stuff as well. So he took some. I was giving it away. I had so much of it. It was like basically a bucket full of it. But that stuff is magic. It's just amazing.
yeah, yeah.
That and ginger. Ginger is a good one as well. That's anti-inflammatory as well. But chilies like cayenne, I was growing cayenne as well. So that's what I used to make the cream for like pain relief
Mhm.
was like a cayenne. I used cayenne powder though, and I mixed it with, I think it was with beeswax and something else. And yeah, and put it into like a little container because I bought like these little containers as well, so I can do that. And then I made a little label for it as well, so it looked like it had the ingredients and it told you what it was and how to use it and stuff. So I did all that, and then somebody came into my house and they had some issues with pain or something, and I said, "Here, have this." So I gave it to them. But yeah, it's just there's so much stuff. I mean, I have things like oregano, I have basil, I have thyme. I love thyme. Thyme is really good. I have um I think I even have like blueberries outside and mint, different types of mint. I have lemon tree, I have lime trees, but the lime trees don't like it so much in the garden. I don't know what to do with them. I had papaya at one point out there, and I was growing things like I started off with things like capsicum. I had capsicum growing because they're easy. You just throw the seeds in. And
Yeah,
the papaya, I think I just threw the seeds in. I didn't
they're
bother
all,
like doing
yeah,
anything special.
they're all
But
very useful, very, very useful for treatment and healing and, you know, preventive
that is
issues, preventive diseases as well. In particular, papaya, I know that healing properties of
yes,
papaya are very,
digestive system. It's good for your digestive system.
yeah.
Yeah, it's was growing all kinds of stuff out there. Recently it's been had like tomatoes as well, and green beans. They aren't herbs, but they're still important, right, for your diet. And I try to grow organically instead of putting pesticides in it. But they took a big hit, like the pests have voracious appetites. So I lost a lot of my tomatoes.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah. So lovely talking to you, Lizzie. We are quite close to our time. Is there anything that you would like to share with people who are struggling with their own personal issues, maybe serious health issues, and trying to they just give in to them to their circumstances? What would you say to them?
I'd say that there's always hope. I think that you just have to look. If you look hard enough and if you have good people around you to support you, I think it's important as well. You want people who will encourage you if you're not well. That's really important. Yeah, I think don't give up. I think I would say, there's always there. Well, in most circumstances, there's something out there that can help. That's kind of what I would say to somebody. I think maybe my point of view is different. I don't know.
No, it's amazing. Your journey has been very encouraging, motivating, uplifting. So I'm
Thank
sure
you.
anybody who's watched the first episode and the second one is definitely going to be motivated. And I will share the links and all and in particular the recipe, if you can find it, I would add that too.
What the shake?
The shake,
Yeah,
yeah, the
I,
shake,
I
and
can
if you
probably
find it,
probably find it because
yeah,
I
then
had my folders out, so I might be able to go through and find it.
whenever you can, then at the time you find it, I will add it, below the
Okay.
video. Yeah, thank you. And I wish you well and success for your clinic once you're
Thank
ready.
you.
All
Thank you
right.
very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Lizzie. We'll talk again. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Kamal. Thanks for having me.